What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 72 of Park to Prem here with Town or Town. Today, we're back, folks, and you might notice something a little bit different. Well, very, very little. We have another half a star on our youth facilities. Yes, our training facilities are due to be done tomorrow. Our youth facilities have been upgraded today. And, well, it's just a sign of progress, I suppose. You can see the date here is the 20th of October. Eagle-eyed viewers may notice that that is not the date that we were set to come back for previously, but international breaks happened, games got rescheduled, all that stuff. And, well, since you were last here and we played York City, you can see we have played a decent chunk of games. I want to immediately get the obvious disappointment out the way. That is the fact that we are out of the leasing.com trophy after just 2 matches. We're not going free, we're not going to retain our crown, in that we lost against Wolverhampton Wanderers under 23s with a rotated team. Typical, I guess, Towler fashion. We had a sending off and then collapsed. And then we also lost to Bradford, who we take on today in the competition. And with those 2 defeats, we can't go through. So now, hopefully forever, hopefully we'll get promoted, I can hide this competition. So we're looking for the EFL trophy. There's so many competitions here, folks. There we go. And now we have the league to focus on. And actually, when you get rid of those 2 defeats outside of the league, it suddenly doesn't look quite as bad, at least to me. So let's go through these, shall we? We started off with a 2-1 win against Bristol Rovers, coming back from behind. Shuttleworth and DKM with the goals, a good little result there. We then took on Port Vale away from home, a team who have been going pretty strong in the league, promoted to League 1 last year from League 2, currently 12th. Probably should be beating them. In the end, they beat us via a singular penalty. If we just look at the stats of this game, I don't want to say we were FM'd, but I feel like we were FM'd. It was just one of those days where we just couldn't quite find the breakthrough, unfortunately. The good news is, in our next game, we took on MK Dons and beat them 3-0. MK Dons, a team who, in previous years, and at least last season, reached the playoffs. They did lose in the semi-finals against Sheffield Wednesday, but to beat them 3-0 was great. Molyneux with the first of the goals for us. He then grabbed a second, and, we got a third to complete the route with not long left. Needham with the goal, and not the only goal he has scored in this little run of games. So, yes, good, I guess, to get the win there, bouncing back from that Port Vale disappointment. And from there, you can see we then took on Blackpool. We beat them 1-0. Ronnie Williamson with his first ever senior goal. A player who, I think when he came into the first team this year, we had some question marks about. I feel like so far he's done a reasonably good job for us. 2 player of the matches in 12 matches for a centre-back. For less than £1,000, he looks like a little bit of a bargain. We'll hope that he can continue to put in some good performances. And he's also been improving a lot, which I feel like helps to justify my mind continuing to play him. Anyway, we then took on Colchester. A 1-1 draw in this game was disappointing, and it was a game where I feel like we were the better team. We had, more chances, better chances. It felt like it was going to be Port Vale all over again, but then Shuttleworth on the volley, lovely little finish, cracked it into the top corner. And, that put a smile on my face. And that smile continued, at least come full time of the game that followed against Crawley Town. Starting the month of October, not starting it particularly well. Scott Robertson got them ahead, and at half-time we were 1 goal down, and I'm going to be honest, they were the better team for large spells of this game. We were lucky that it was only 1-0. Then, in a bit of a turn of fortune, they had a man sent off, and we just hit the accelerator. Needham with a really, really good goal. It was nicely worked around the edge of the box before he finished it away. With 10 minutes left, it was 1-1. We, went very attacking. We got 2 goals in quick succession. The first by Andre Dazelle. Doesn't get too many, but we'll let him celebrate that one. And then Molyneux with another goal to add to his collection. Has been in some good goal-scoring form for us. Unfortunately, they did concede, or rather we did concede late on to make it 3-2, to make it seem closer. Smolio with some questionable goalkeeping, I think, would be a fair assessment of that. And then we come on to the next game, the game that doesn't really follow the pattern, necessarily. We took on Leyton Orient, and we lost 5-1. And we didn't have a sending off. We didn't have, some kind of crazy excuse. I guess my excuse would be the fact that we had some players on international duty, but that doesn't really wash. We got spanked 5-1. So I don't have a clue what to expect from our team today. We've been incredibly patchy and inconsistent. I felt like going into the Leyton Orient game, we'd kind of worked out, our best 11. Players were starting to gel. When you get a load of new players into the first team, there's always a little bit of a getting to know each other period. I felt like we'd weathered that. this result raises a load of questions. And well, if we look at the league table, we are still doing well because, fortunately for us, there hasn't been a Charlton this year. There hasn't been a team who's just run away with it like they did last year. We currently trail Walsall, who are top of the league, by 4 points. A win here, though, would be very important. You can see if Bradford beat us today, they will go into the automatic promotion spot. So both teams with plenty to play for, and I will hope that we can come out on top. You can see Dazelle higher on the average ratings, and I don't want to make excuses, but you can see here the injury league table, we have 4 injuries. In the last month or so, we've had a lot of injuries to important players, and many of them not available today. I guess the easiest one to justify is Kosic, who got injured midway through September. Broke his ribs, 2 months out. I talked about at the start of the year, the fact he was injury prone, that I didn't want him to turn into a Gareth Bale. I am very, very concerned about the fact that he got injured and broke his ribs. We've sent him to a specialist. So we have been without our key player. And I feel like it wouldn't be unfair to describe Kosic as our sick player. I guess he is sick because he's in the hospital with broken ribs. But what I mean is our key player. I don't know where sick came from. I mean, he is sick, but I don't talk like a 14-year-old. Maybe I do. Anyway, you can see Roof's also been out injured, but we already knew about that. But Shuttleworth is currently out with a pulled hamstring. He's been out for a little while with that one. Jacobs has been out injured. Stewart's had some time out injured as well. I mean, if we sort by dates here, this is perhaps a better summary. And another big injury alongside Shuttleworth and Kosic has been Molyneux, who unfortunately twisted his knee, isn't available for today's game, and wasn't available for the Leyton Orient game, which I don't think we can necessarily use as an excuse for conceding 5 goals. But when this guy's up top for us, we tend to score more than 1. Unfortunately, I don't think he's quite going to be ready for the game today, which is a big one. Taking on Bradford, they're right up there with us. Interestingly enough, York City, who we played last episode, they've fallen completely off the pace. I mean, I say that. They're in 6th, but they've played a game more, so they're not top of the pile like they once were, and their goal difference of just 1 somewhat sticks out like a sore thumb when compared to the teams around them. You can see, actually, just looking at our goal difference, we have scored 21 goals, which is the joint 3rd highest in the league, and prior to playing Leyton Orient, we'd conceded 11 goals, which was actually quite good. Unfortunately, when you concede 5 goals in a singular game, it kind of ruins the whole goals conceded thing, and as a result, our goal difference really doesn't look all that impressive. Anyway, one more thing that I want to cover, because people have been asking about it. Jack, what does your manager profile look like? Here it is. We've got a contract for the next 4 years. We've obviously improved a hell of a lot and come a long way. I'm having trouble with my words today, folks. It's that Monday feeling as I record this, I guess. But yes, we're looking very, very good. And, well, you can see some of the stuff we're known for here. Although I feel like many of these are just the same thing, just written slightly differently. I'll let you be the judge of that. In terms of transfers in, a player who I asked about last time we were here, I need to find him now because we've got a hell of a lot of players. Where are you? Garrido. I said, should we sign Garrido? And everyone in the comments said, don't sign him, Jack. He's on too much. 600k, that's crazy. I went and bought him. I ignored everyone. We'll find out who was right. The reason for signing this guy is basically he looks like an incredibly good talent right now. In terms of as a winger, he's really well suited to the winger role. He's got the attributes for it. Sometimes you'll get a player who's incredible, but they don't really fit a specific position or a specific, I guess, part of the team's formation. For me, I feel like we can make this guy work. And of course, he's only going to be 18. He's not going to be expecting to play a load of first-team football. He's got great physicals, good technicals. His mentals are not particularly good, but it is this potential that I'm particularly hung up on and that led me to, deciding to splash the cash somewhat to bring him in for 600k. 4.5 star, kind of gold star potential, of course. The black stars you see here, kind of the uncertainty. We do not have many players with that level of potential looking through our team. And we've got the money to spend. We've got the money to take a punt. £600,000 is not a small amount of money, but in relative terms, it's an amount of money that I'm comfortable spending. So we'll see who was right, because there were many of you who didn't think we should sign him, and I've gone against the grain, which we may live to forget. Anyway, in terms of tactics, I have been tweaking things over this last month, trying to find something that works. And one thing that has been working is actually switching up the centre mid roles. Now, this was actually a comment that I've seen a few times while we've been using this system. And it was the idea that maybe the centre mid on defend just should be replaced by the deep line playmaker on defend, and you can do something different with the other player just to, I guess, offer another man going forward. When you have a deep line playmaker and a centre mid on defend, they're quite static. Neither of those players are going to get forward. So this year we've been trialling out, in recent times, a box-to-box midfielder in Needham alongside Dazelle. I've ended up going with Needham over some of the other centre mids that we've signed this year, because he's been in incredible form. 2 goals, 2 assists, a 7.32 average rating. I feel a little bad for Collie Sacco, but he's not been putting in the performances when we've given him chances, and Needham just has, and that's how I like to pick my team at the end of the day. Elsewhere in the team, you may notice a few other little changes as a result of the switch up in centre mids. I've allowed Grant to go onto the attacking duty as the right wing back. I want to see him get forward a little bit more. I feel like when we have players back and fit, particularly Molyneux potentially out on the right, we look very strong, and actually Grant's best element of his game is, to be honest, getting forward. He's got great pace to do that, and he does definitely terrorise defences a little bit going forward. I've decided not to do the same with Reyes, just because he's not quite as technically gifted a footballer. He remains on the support duty, but because there's not a defensive centre mid on his side, you know, he does need to be a little bit more cautious, I guess, going forward. But yes, I have been tinkering with things a little bit. One system that I have been using and experimenting with is to have Kosic out on the left, then Molyneux out on the right, and then play Roof down the middle as a striker. Sometimes Leighton Stewart we've played as a striker. In terms of striking options, Molyneux has just been the goal-scoring threat in our team. I mean, you can see here, Molyneux, Kosic and Shuttleworth, all whom aren't available for today's game, are 3 of the highest kind of goal-scoring players in the team. We're missing some really important pieces today, which adds to the challenge. At the same time, if we could somehow come through this game and get a result, it will reflect very, very well upon us. So I guess that's what we're going to strive towards doing. Anyway, in terms of the team we're going to go with, this is how we line up. So it's going to be Smolio in goal, Williamson and Hugo at centre-back, Grant and Reyes out on the left. I got told it was Reyes in the comments recently, so it's not Rice. I'm sorry, those of you who, you know, aren't the biggest fans of pasta and like your rice, it's Reyes. I don't think that applies to anyone. In the midfield, though, fairly standard, I guess. A few injuries to contend with. Kosic, obviously. Shuttleworth has played well prior to his injury. 5 assists. It really can't be understated, actually. When you look at players' form in the last 5 games, we are missing a few of the players who have been quite important to us. Interestingly, Needham having the best run of games he's ever had at the club. So we'll hope that he's going to do something for us today. And well, I've rambled on long enough, but just being aware, you know, we are lacking a goal scorer today. Dimitri Sia, we're going to give a chance to. We've got options on the bench, though. Molyneux and Roof are there. I feel a bit bad for Leighton Stewart, but 1 goal in 6 starts. Just he's not. He came in recently, the episode before last episode, and got 1 goal in 1 game, and I thought he's going to do it again. You know, we're going to keep starting him, and he's going to keep getting goals. He's played 5 matches since as a starter, and he's not scored in any of them. So we go into this game knowing Bradford are very good, and we've been spanked 5-1 in our last game. So it's hard to know exactly what team's going to turn up today and how we're going to get on. Hopefully we can look a little better defensively. I'm also keeping my fingers and toes crossed that we're going to have someone step up. You know, Shuttleworth, 2 goals and 5 assists has been massive for us. He's not available. Kosic, we know what he's capable of. He's not available. And while Molyneux, top goal scorer in the team, not available. So we are missing some key players here, but at the same time, when you look at our team on paper, ignoring recent form, we should be winning this game. We still should be doing very, very well, and we've not been so far, and we may not be yet, although Smolio's come to the rescue and made a superb save there. A little bit concerning that they've beaten us with 1 ball over the top. The good news is, despite our rotation policy, we are dominating possession, and we are creating an odd chance or 2, although if we do that, Smolio's going to have to keep bailing us out. What are we doing, folks? What are we doing? That is shocking at the back. I don't know how to feel about what I've seen so far from us. We've almost been the masters of our own downfall twice. We do now have a set piece for Diawara. Set piece specialist. Whips it in DKM. Free header. Just over the crossbar. He was kind of backpedaling a little bit and using all those neck muscles in his body to get the header away. Just couldn't quite keep it down. Maybe take 2 here. Diawara this time to the back post. Need him with it. What can he do? I thought he was going to lose the ball, but it's gone to Hugo now with Williamson. And now we kind of transition. Our defenders getting back into position. And we go all the way back. Right, can we play the ball out of the back better than we did just a second ago? No, the answer is no, we can't. What are we doing? Smolyo has saved 3 clear-cut chances, and they've all come from us trying to play the ball out the back. I'm changing some stuff here. I have take fewer risks and pass it shorter on our players. You know what? I'm getting rid of both, because these are designed basically to encourage the players just to take their time a little bit, you know, just play it safe. Don't lump it forward and give it away. But right now, Bradford's pressing, and not even their pressing, just our passing is causing us all kinds of issues. So I'm just going to tell the defenders to try and boot it away if they need to. Oh my word. Has that gone through the keeper? It may have done. The whistle had gone apparently. I was not happy with the nature of that goal going in, but I think our players stopped for the whistle. Their players didn't. The good news is the whistle went, so nothing to worry about. At half-time, if you just looked at these stats, you'd probably say, oh, we've had the edge. Knowing that we've had 3 clear-cut chances against us and Smolyo's made 3 saves, I mean, I feel bad that his rating isn't any better, but I guess he was responsible for one of the goals, or one of the chances. But we have him to thank, at least in this game so far. You can see they are playing with 2 strikers and a centre attacking mid, and then 4 midfielders in behind. So it doesn't exactly surprise me they're causing us issues. I might make a tactical change here in response to the shape they're playing, but we'll wait for this highlight to play out first. Shot blocked. Iwu, though, with it. Williamson, please don't get sent off. Please don't get... I can't deal with another sending off in a live com. There's been far too many recently. Warner with the set piece for them. Hits it. Oh, my word. He has hit the woodwork. We live to fight another day. This has the air of one of those games where we're somehow going to win it. So I'm going to make a change here in response to the system that they're playing more than anything else. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to change our our inside forwards onto the attack duty. I want to see them cut inside and really, you know, try and cause their 3 at the back some problems. Dazell's on a booking, which concerns me a little. So I think we'll play him on deep line playmaker off defend and then go back to Needham as a centre mid on defend. That should mean that Dazell doesn't quite put in as many tackles. Dimitri Sear's not had the best of games. I'm going to give Roof a run out. Roof has got goals for us from the penalty spot, and when you look at him, he should be a very, very good advance forward. Unfortunately, he has had a bit of an issue with injuries as of late. This is a game where I would love to have Shuttleworth or Molyneux ready and raring to go. We could chance Molyneux, but he is injured for the next 2 days. I don't even know if he did a fitness test, but he's on the bench. I mean, Jacobs has done that, and I've had enough. Molyneux, I'm going to chance your fitness. I think he is actually fit enough to play. We've been trialling him out on the right-hand side, and he's got goals from the wide midfielder position. Let's see what he can do. Fresh-legged. This is his kind of game, you know. He's a speedy player to come on and hopefully cause them issues, as we cause ourselves issues again, and this time we're punished. Gilchrist with it, or Gilchrist with it, smashes it into the bottom corner. Throwing in our own bit here. We get it to Rice, or Rays. I'm going to keep calling him Rice, aren't I? And then it's just a terrible pass. I don't know if Smolyo should do better with the attempted save, but it was quite good in terms of the quality of the strike. I'm going to go very attacking, and I'm going to get a bit more shouty. We whip in the ball. There's not really anyone there. DKM's kind of stood around at the back post with his hands in his pocket, and now it's another calamity. What is happening to us? What is happening? We've made like 4 or 5 mistakes. These aren't system issues. These are simply issues with the players not enjoying the big matches and just fundamentally just ballsing up. Hugo here just stops. We stop completely defensively and Gascoigne just gets in behind and Smolyo can't stop it. It's 2-0. Oh, it's very, very unfortunate. I did consider, and I got mentioned in the comments actually, of episode 71, but I had been thinking about it, about the possibility of going back to our 4-4-2. What do we think, folks? I feel like we need to change something. I don't know if it's going to solve our defensive issues, but we're struggling to get goals as much as we're struggling to actually do anything defensively. It's a system that we know works. We have the players to play it as well. And if I'm being honest, I've been very underwhelmed by Diawara as a centre attacking mid. Anyway, Molyneux with it. He's the one goal scorer in our team who I have faith in, and well, maybe that faith is misplaced because he's just smashed it straight at the keeper. Bradford doing a number over on us. They've had the better chances in this game. That's kind of what this boils down to. But those chances have been born out of us screwing up. Diawara, now with Grant, who's on the attack duty. You know, that little change there, that's a foul. Michael Roof, he scored from the penalty spot already for us. A goal here would make it a little interesting with 10 minutes left. Can he do it? The young Scotsman, I say young, he's 25. Of course he can. What a penalty that is. Third goal of the season for him. Maybe we have to try him up top alongside Molyneux as a striking duo. At 2-1 now, it's not actually completely over. This is a little bit conservative, so you know what? We're gonna go to the system. We're gonna bring it out, everyone. We're gonna have to change things up a little here. What we'll do is we'll bring Molyneux into the striking position alongside Roof. That change that I was discussing maybe doing. We're going to trial it today. And then I'm going to bring in Purdue out on the right-hand side. A player who I don't feel like we've really mentioned much since he joined us. He joined us last year, had a pretty so-so year. I guess he got a few goals and assists. He hasn't made an appearance yet this year. But due to some of the injuries and the current situation, he's coming on here, out on the right-hand side. Let's see what he can do, shall we? And we'll go very attacking as well for the last 2 minutes of the game. Although with 5 minutes of added time, we need a late goal and there's no highlight starting. And it feels inevitable that this is just destined to finish 2-1. And that's just disappointing. Smolio has conceded 2 and still got the best average rating in our team. We definitely miss the players who were injured. Molyneux obviously not able to start. We looked better when he came on. Shuttleworth has been surprisingly important to us this year so far. But I definitely feel like we might want to start trialling the 4-4-2. I don't think we've won a live com episode so far, and that result there makes it 3 defeats in a row, which is a teeny tiny bit concerning. In terms of games coming up, we've got Coventry, AFC Wimbledon, Crewe, Gillingham, Hull. We've got Lincoln City, although we're already out of that competition, so it really doesn't matter. We've got Walsall at the end of November, who are currently at the top of the table, or towards the top of it. They're currently in second. I think we'll come back for that game against them. But before we go anywhere, I believe, and I hope I'm correct here, otherwise this is going to be embarrassing, today is the day our training facilities are opened and upgraded, and indeed they are. The board have announced the expansion to the club's training facilities has been completed, and look at that, it's now below average, everyone. Can we request a further upgrade? I can improve the training facilities. We would love the club to be... We're doing it again. We go again at the same day. Can you imagine that? You're opening up the facilities, and then the next day they're just, you know, starting building work again. And it will be done in just under a year's time. But this is part of the long-term strategy. We need to be doing this at every opportunity. I did ask for the youth level to be increased and was told to bugger off by Alexander. So I'm hoping when that opportunity to request that comes around again, he's a little bit more interested in it. But, well, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed. Walsall tomorrow is going to be a big one. I hope to see you then. It's me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.